Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 22 Esports video. Today is the final round of the 2022 Esports World Championship of F1. And as you can see there, we're in P5 in the standings, 20 points ahead of Nicolas Longe, 39 points behind Barry Berman, so we can only lose P5 basically. We have lost too many points in the past race, as simple as that. It hasn't been our year. We were simply not good enough this year. We've lost too many points in some of the races. Of course, 0 points in Imola, Monza and Suzuka. So, yes, bit of a shame that we had that many 0 scores, because, you know, at least if we scored maybe like 6 or 8 points, we could have fought back a little bit harder in the championship. But we just didn't have the pace. We had some unlucky moments maybe, but at the same time, if your qualifying is bad and you start in the midfield, then you're making your life very, very tough. Anyway, we're still gonna try and, you know, do as well as possible in this final round. I couldn't find the constructor standings, but yeah, we were basically too far behind Red Bull to still really have a shot at that. Ending Q1 here. We're not ending, this is the end of our first run in qualifying. It's a 22.575, puts us to P3 for now, and yeah, solid Q1 to be honest. You can see there, we didn't have to go out again, so if we make it to Q3, we've got 2 new sets of tires remaining. Our teammate Jake Benham did not make it into Q2, sorry, for the first time actually, and yeah, very happy with my performance there. Just got my lap together very nicely. First new set of tires run in Q2 puts us to P11. So yeah, we're gonna have to improve on this second new tire run, definitely, because otherwise we're gonna be out in Q2. So which would be a bit of a disappointment, to be honest, after a solid Q1. Just 1 run needed there, and we're gonna try and nail this lap because the last one was definitely not good enough. Into turn 4 we go. There's no braking boards on the right, and that, I think we lost a lot of time because of that. We lost a lot of time on entry. I was very confused why there was not a braking board, but apparently people were taking them out and using that as a racing line, so that distracted me a lot, and I think we lost like a 10 there by braking too early. Not compared to our Delta, but just in general. Into sector 3 we're gonna go in a second. Daniela that goes P1, so he has set a very solid lap. Into the final sector we go. We're half a 10 down on John Evans, and it's just not been a great lap so far. Final sector is always a good sector to make up a lot of time, as it's such a tight and twisty section. 4th gear, and we're gonna try and carry as much minimum speed as possible throughout this whole section. Short shifted to 5th. And we're 1.7 tenths up, but is it gonna be enough? That's the question here. Into the final corner we go, 4th gear, trying to get the front to turn in. Bit of a wiggle on the exit, lost 100 there. And we're only P10 with still 3 people to cross the line. Someone jumps ahead of us, I think that was one of the Williams or the Alpine cars. And unfortunately we are out in Q2. Yeah, it's a shame. I think we were out by only 100, and yeah, such a shame that we just a little bit too slow in qualifying. You can see there 1.2 hundredths of the pace to Luke Smith. And that's basically what we lost in the last corner probably. And for the first time, Barry Werland actually out in Q2 in I think like 24, 25 races. He's made it into Q3. So yeah, he had a bit of a stinker as well. I think a lot of people complained about the braking boards being gone, but it is what it is, you know. Final race of the season. Abu Dhabi can be a 2-stop on other games. This game is a definite 1-stop though. We're going to be starting on the hards and then move on to the mediums later on. Now the question is, when will we move on to the mediums? Because we are not even sure at this point just yet. We're going to wait and see what the others are going to do. Anyway, into the race we're going to go. It's going to be 5 red lights. And away we go for the final time in the 2022 Esports World Championship. Into turn 1, we're going to go around the outside. And an Alfa Romeo spun off into an infield. I decided to go off track here to avoid that car spinning out. Didn't want to overtake Luke there though, because that would be illegal. So I decided to let him go, and we get to live another day. We have to defend from Barry Berman here a little bit. I decide to go for the inside. Barry goes for the outside. We leave him the space on the outside, and now we go side by side on the next straight. We've got the inside line though, which will turn into the outside line for the next one. But let's see if we can break deep here and use that space available on the inside, which we do. Down the inside of Luke there. Not really an attacking move, it was just there to defend from Barry, and we managed to pull that one off. Daniel Adat in P8, Luke Smith P9, Brendan Lee P12. I think Brendan had a great start. I'm not sure actually, because I think he was out in Q1 as well. But I'm not sure. Anyway, P10 it is. Crucially, or rival for P5 in the championship in P19, so that is good news for us. He basically has to win and we have to score 0 points. I can tell you one thing, he's not winning anymore from P19 from here on, unless it suddenly starts raining here in Abu Dhabi. P10 it is after the opening lap, 1 position gained after that Alfa Romeo spun out, and we're gonna try and just stick in this rain, save some tires, because we might go very, very deep into this race on this set of tires, just like we did there in turn 1. On to lap 10 then. First person is gonna box, which is Thomas Ronnar. We started on the mediums, has done 10 laps on the mediums, and is gonna bolt on a set of hards for his second stint. There's an Aston was boxed already, but that one is not really in contention anymore. More people boxing, as you can see. Barry Borman behind us, and Tyre, and not really Tyre, but Tyre Delta is a pretty big loss around here. So with Barry boxing that early, I decided that we are gonna go long, because if we box on at the end of this lap, basically he will have undercut us, and I was like, you know what, it's the last race of the season, let's have some fun. We're gonna go long and do one of our traditional alternate strategies where we have to catch up like half the field in the last 10 laps of the race, which is so much fun. Anyway, Brendan Lee into the box behind us. He is going for the undercut as well. And now we have to catch up to Daniel Adat a little bit there. He's 1.2 seconds ahead, and ideally we get into his DRS, so we get an advantage from the DRS. You know, dirty air is not really as much of a loss in the game compared to real life, so that helps you run close. However, you also have less slipstream, because dirty air basically is slipstream. It's basically the same thing, so yeah. We are not getting DRS. Oh yeah, we actually are getting DRS. The DRS detection zone was just after that corner, and we managed to get it there. However, we are starting to run a little bit low on battery, so we need to start recharging soon. That's why I didn't use really any ERS on that exit, even though we were almost out of the DRS. A little bit there to make sure we will get to the next DRS zone if Daniele decides to not box at the end of this lap. However, I do expect a lot of people to box once again at the end of the lap, so they cover up people who are trying the undercut, as you can see there. And Alpha Tauri is coming into the box. The McLaren of Lucas Blakely and Daniele Adat all have boxed here, and now we are running in P2. However, we still need to make a pit stop. Alvaro Carrot on 2.6 seconds ahead. We're definitely not catching him, because that's just simply too far away. In this stint at least. Petro Chipol sets the fast lap of the race, 24.8. Barry Beaumont up next with a 24.5. However, lap 19 now, end of lap 19, we're finally gonna box for a new set of mediums. And 10 laps on the mediums is a short stint, to be honest.
Out the back,
but the thing is, we need to overtake people.
Yes. Just.
And in order to do that, you need a tire advantage.
So they don't lose too much time from this stop.
I was just waiting for Crofty to shut up there. Anyway, coming out, our teammate Jake Benham has boxed 1 lap earlier than us, and the undercut was so back that he gained like 3 seconds. However, we are gonna have the tire advantage from here on, and this is perfect actually from a team point perspective, because Jake is on 1 lap all the tires than us, which will be a disadvantage, but we can pull him along to the traffic a little bit easier now, David Denitsa 4 seconds up the road. Thomas Horatzis 5 seconds up the road on a set of hards. And yeah, now we can pull Jake along a little bit. He can recharge his battery while he gets the advantage of the DRS. And then he can pass the guys ahead easier as well. So yeah, this is played out perfectly for us. Now we just need to gain the group of cars ahead. We also need to gain to that group of cars ahead of them. So it's gonna take a while, you know. It's gonna take like 5-6 laps, but maybe we can make some solid moves later on. We are into P12 now. I have no idea why. I think some people actually might have been caught up into some incidents. So we gained some positions through that. And now we're gonna get DRS on Daniela Dutt. Our teammate Jake Benham 8 tenths behind. We of course have the tire advantage. I'm gonna turn on the overtake button a little bit there, just to make sure that we can get Daniela on the straight after that. Because we will get DRS on that one as well. And you can see he is flashing as well. So that's not really gonna be a big task for us. We are 2 tenths behind now. We've got fresher tires, DRS, more battery. Daniela gets a big slide as well on that exit. And this is gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And now 2.3 seconds behind David Denitsa, who is behind his teammate Brendan Lee. And that's I think the whole group until like P4, P5 maybe. So if we catch them, that gives the opportunity. 1 lap later we gained like 1.4 seconds to the guys ahead. And that is the tire advantage we are talking about here. We've got so much more rubber left, even though even we don't have a lot of rubber left. They are definitely struggling. Their tires are starting to drop off a cliff. And this is what makes races interesting. When there's an actual tire drop off, there will be good racing, at least a lot of overtakes and a lot of different strategies. You can see Brendan boxed end of lap 15, I think so, which is early, but yeah, he's just struggling. His strategy isn't quite working out. But yeah, that's the risk you take, of course. If you go early, you've got the advantage of track position, but you're going to be struggling more later on. And now we're going to get DRS on the next straight. Of course, you can see we've got so much more grip than him. There's no point for him to fight this, because he can't. He will only lose more time if he fights it. And that's why Brendan decided to choose wisely not to battle that. Anyway, we're going to get DRS once again on the next straight. There's actually an incident up ahead. Barry has to cut the chicane. And we are luckily gonna get DRS here. We had to avoid Luke Smith actually there, as they are both getting DRS here and trying to fight each other. Luke was ghosted actually after that incident, and something I hope so much they turn it off for future years, because I think the random ghosting is not fair from a competitive point, but also it's just not realistic. So yeah, I hope they turn it off for future years. Anyway, we're gonna head into the final lap of the F1 22 Esports World Championship. Lucas Blakely seems like he's gonna win the championship. He's currently in P4, which is all he needs to do. And we are still trying to gain some positions here. We're currently in P9, heading into the final lap of this race. Barry has that 5-second penalty, of course. He boxed very early on, so he is struggling with his tires for sure. As an Alpine has spun off actually on the last lap of the race. And we're up to P8. Crazy that happened actually. I did not expect that. And now I decided not to turn on the overtake button just yet, because I knew David and Barry were both going to battle into the chicane. And I hoped that they were going to do a quota kind of incident, but that wasn't happening. Barry decided to go for the switchback. Didn't quite manage to pull it off, because his tires are done. We've got more ERS here. We're going to go around the outside into the long left-hander, but we've got so much more momentum that by the time we get there, we're going to be completely clear. And now, can we have a go at David Denitsa? You can see we have slightly more grip than him, but we can't quite pull it off. And in this last sector of the race, we're just not close enough. There's no overtaking opportunities anymore. I could have maybe gone for a big cent. But again, we're not fighting for a championship anymore. We're not fighting for championship positions anymore. We just run out of risk of getting a penalty point, which will last until next year. and last a full 12 months. P7 it is for the final race in F1
Maybe
Esports.
slightly too late, but nice race.
As you can hear, my engineer say we boxed probably 1 lap too late. David Tanitsa actually did a great strategy. He nailed it. So GG's to him. But yeah, it was still a fun race catching up to all those people. We took a little bit too much risk with staying out that long. Anyway, season over. 12 races done. We haven't managed to pull a third title, of course. Very disappointing. I wasn't good enough this year, in qualifying especially. I've just struggled, wasn't good enough. It is what it is. I'm gonna be pushing hard next year, or this year already actually, for my third title. I know what I did wrong, and I'm gonna give it my all. See you guys next year. Ciao.